my brother's keeper. I'm my sister's guide. Standing here together with nothing left to hide. We lift each other up when the world feels torn apart. We're keepers of the flame. We're the healers of the heart.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to My Other's Keeper. I have the lovely and talented Echo with me today. And she is living her life at 60. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. So, how have you been?
I've been good. I've been
Yeah.
really good. Yes, I keep getting off of more and more medicine. And so the side effects,
Fantastic.
I mean, I didn't even realize all the side effects, all the medicine I was
Mm-hmm.
on had. I thought they
Mm-hmm.
were just all part of my issues,
Right.
and didn't even realize until I started losing the weight that it was a lot of the medication was making me feel the way I was feeling.
Wow.
So it's been really good to not have to take things that I relied on heavily,
Right. Right.
before. So I've had back surgery, and I always would have back pain, and I couldn't, if I stood at the sink and washed dishes or stood at the stove cooking, my back would be screaming at me. And I got to
Absolutely.
where I would use this rolling desk chair, and I would roll around and I would sit and do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my back doesn't bother me like that now at all.
Wow.
And I used to have
Wow.
restless leg too. And
Yes.
I couldn't hardly fall asleep at night, which a lot of it is nerve damage with my
Right.
diabetes, with my feet and
Right.
all. But I was on restless leg medication, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that at all anymore. And so I don't take
Nice.
the pain medicine for my back. I don't take the nerve medicine for my legs, and I don't take that restless leg anymore. And it's amazing how much different I feel not having, those things in my system. And
Oh,
then I
for
was taking a
sure.
lot of diabetic medication, which I'm only taking one, but it's to help protect my kidneys. So
Mm-hmm.
I probably will end up staying on it.
Yep.
But I used to take 200 units of insulin a day, and now I take, actually this morning I cut it to 15. I've been doing 20, and when I went to my last doctor's appointment, I was at 40. And she said, okay, just start watching it and start coming
Yep.
down as you
Yep.
feel that you can, which I wear the little sensor on my arm so that
Okay.
I can check my blood sugar on my app on my phone. And
Yes.
so I can check it whenever, I want to check it. And
Nice.
it has alarms set in it. If it drops too
Mm.
low or goes too high, it'll alert me. But I can look at
Oh,
it, whenever I want to. But anyway,
nice.
so I just, pay attention to where I'm at on that. And so I've been slowly about 5 units at a time. And then I'll stay there for a week or two, and then I'll come another 5 down and stay there. So from the 40 that I was at the last doctor's appointment, now I'm at 15, and I go back to see her the 1st of April. And I'm hoping I can do
Wow.
at least like 10 or less, and maybe she'll say, let's try it, without it. So,
Well, yeah, if you're going down by fives, that is a very reasonable amount to go down.
yeah.
And taking that week in between, here, we've got a question from Indigo. How was
Oh,
it
hi,
getting that
Linda.
installed? I'm assuming it's about the monitor. I've been
Oh,
curious if I should ask my doctor about that because my weight is in such a flux lately. Yeah,
sure.
and weight does make a difference.
If I can get my sleeve so you can see it. It's just a
Yeah.
little disc, and it has like a little fiber optic thing in it, and you just stick it on there, and then it checks your blood sugar constantly. It's a continuous glucose monitor, and that way you don't have to stick your finger. to
Yeah.
check. And you also, like I said, have the alarms set up.
Hmm.
And so, like, this is my reading. Like, right now, I'm at 118.
Okay.
And it'll, like I said, it'll let me know if it gets too low or goes too high. And the sensors that I use, they're good for 15 days.
Hmm.
So you can really, and it's so much better. For years and years and years, I stuck my fingers, seven,
Yeah.
8 times a day. And I used to
Wow.
even take insulin at my meal times as well as in the morning and at bedtime.
Yes. Yep.
So not to have to do all those needles and sticking my finger, all that stuff, it's just wonderful. But getting the monitor really helped because it's like, I think when you have to stick yourself, you'll kind of tell yourself, oh, I feel fine. I don't have to check it. I'm not high, I'm not low. I'm good.
Yeah.
And so you
Yeah.
don't check it. And then you don't
Right.
know where you're at. And so with this, it's nothing to check it. You just look at it, And if I
Right.
get too far away from my phone, it'll
Hmm.
go off because it's not the signal, it's through Bluetooth and the signal is not
Oh,
staying in, sync with
right.
it. And so I'm bad about that. I'll lay my phone down and I'll go walk off somewhere and then, it'll be like, what's that noise? It's like, oh, that's my alarm telling me I'm too far away. So
Yeah, it's not good when your phone has a leash on you.
yeah. And I did
Yep.
have my to keep track of my steps on an app on my phone. There
Yep.
again, I had to have the phone in my pocket
Yes. Yep.
to do it. And my phone would either be charging or I would have laid it down or something like that. So my sister just sent me this watch in the mail.
Hmm.
Well, come on back. And it's a smartwatch. And
Yep.
so I can have all of I wish I could have the monitor register on there as
Right.
well.
That would be nice.
But so now it's like I'm doing so many more steps because I actually am getting credit for all the steps I'm doing, not just when I remember to pick up the phone.
Exactly.
So I was like,
Exactly. Oh, that's
oh,
wonderful.
yeah.
So how expensive is that monitor? Because here in Canada, it's not covered under insurance. So we would have to pay for
I
it out of pocket.
yeah, I'm not really sure what it costs because my insurance does cover it.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I'm
And
not.
what brand is it?
I use the Libra 3 is what I use. There's Dexcom and there's
Right.
some other name brands or whatever. But they're all basically the same. Some are
Right.
14 days, some are 15 days, and then whatever app they tell you to link it to so that you can
Right.
um, track it.
Exactly. And it doesn't poke into the skin, it just sits on top?
It's like it's like a thick piece of thread, but it's like a plastic
Right.
little piece of fiber optic like thread. And it feels like it pokes you when you first put it on,
Right.
but after it's on there, you don't really feel it. And then when you take it out, it's not like you're pulling anything out. So I'm not exactly sure if it actually like punctures in the skin or if it just pokes into the skin.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
the only
Okay.
drawback to it at first is you'll hit it on stuff because you're just not used to it,
Yes.
And even though it is, about a little thicker than a quarter, so it's not
Yeah.
sticking out real far.
No,
But if you bump into the wall or a door or something like that,
you noticed.
and so I kept knocking them off. And once it comes off, it's no good anymore. And
Oh,
so I get
wow.
a shipment every 3 months, and they give me enough to last me for that 3 months and until the next month
Ah,
is in. But if you call them and say, look, it accidentally came off or it's not registering now or something like that, they'll go ahead and send you out another one to replace it.
right.
But
Right.
I don't know how many times they would actually do that, like, okay, you got to figure out how to not be knocking it off.
Exactly. You stick some tape on it or something.
Yeah.
Tammy says, yes, she was on Dexcom. the Freestyle Libre wasn't working when it kept falling out.
Yes.
So
And
Tammy, does the Dexcom have an in-skin component, like a needle type component, or is it simply on top of the skin as well? I know nothing about these, and I'm very, very interested.
I'm thinking it's about the same, that it's probably a little fiber optic thing. I don't think it's,
Okay.
actually it's not like a needle. It's definitely not like a piece of metal, like hard, like you would think a needle. It's not like you're
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
around with a needle stuck in you. So
See,
it's like,
that's what I was scared
but
of, is it was like this
yeah, no,
thing.
no. And it's kind of
Huh.
like, trying to think. I mean, it's like a thick piece of thread. It's like way thinner than like a bread twist tie would be,
Okay.
or trying to think what would be comparable in the width of it. I mean, it's not very big at all. But when I take it off, I can take and push that with my finger, and I can move it around and bend it, and you know.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Okay,
not really
cool.
sure what the material is. Okay, we got
Mm-hmm.
married in Arkansas, and
Yep.
Tammy. Hi,
Yep.
Tammy. And Crystal. I finally got figured out how to make the chat work on there.
Oh, good. And Joel?
Tammy says, yes, it does, but the needle is smaller than a pin tip. It's
Oh,
so
wow.
thin.
Okay.
Okay. I don't
So
know.
the
I was
Dexcom does have a slight needle to it.
I was lucky because this is the first one that my doctor recommended, and my insurance covered it, and it worked fine for me, and the app would go on my phone. Okay. That's another. I have a really old cell phone, and so I have had
Mm,
trouble with that in the past, of having different apps for different things that wouldn't download onto my phone. So I'm
mm-hmm.
glad I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad about that. But I want to show y'all my weight loss surgery Bible.
Awesome.
Um, if you don't know anything about having weight loss surgery, it's not like you just go and say, this and this, I need to have surgery, and they say, okay, let's schedule that surgery. They don't do that. They make you go
No.
through so much red tape and testing, which is a good thing. But to get the insurance company to pay for it, you've got to have medical reasons for it.
Yes,
And you
exactly.
also have to have the right psychological state to be able to
Yep.
handle the recovery and the lifestyle changes.
Yep.
And I had to talk to like a psychologist type lady, had to clear me. I also had to, when I first went to find out about it, my family doctor had said, she gave me the referral and was all on board and everything was great. But when it actually came time that she had to write a letter to my bariatric doctor saying she cleared
Mm-hmm.
me, then she was like, well, let's do a heart checkup because, I don't want to say that your heart is good for
Yep.
surgery and then have something come back, which
Exactly. I had to have an EKG as well.
I had to
Yep.
have the heart workup done a few years prior. And if it had been like within 6 months, the cardiologist said we could have used that same
Right.
workup. But because it
Yep.
had been longer than 6 months, I actually had to have that chemical stress test done again.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
okay. I've never had to do that.
which was fine because, I mean, you always want to know that your heart is in good shape.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
So, and that's one thing with the diabetes, heart disease is very prevalent.
Very common.
You want to
Yep.
make sure that is. So I did have to go to the cardiologist and get the cardiologist to sign off on it. Then my family doctor would sign off on it. And
Mm-hmm.
then I had to meet with anesthesiologists, make sure that they would sign off on it to put me to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, it felt like I'm never going to get to have this surgery because I'm
I
never
know.
going to get all these different people in line saying yes at the same time, and
Yes.
I had two issues when I first started out with it. The first issue, of course, was I had to come up with $1,500
Hmm.
out of my pocket. My
Hmm.
insurance would cover everything else, but I had to have an endoscopic done,
Mm.
and I think the doctor, I had to pay $500. I had to pay $500 for the endoscopic, and then the copay at the hospital, I believe, was $500. So anyway, they wanted $1,500 up front. And then I had
Hmm.
several appointments I had to go to that I had to pay a $30 copay as I went, along. So I went like in January to find out about having it done, but it wasn't until March that I actually came up with the money to be able to say, yes, here's my money. I want to start the process.
Right.
And
Right.
so I didn't get to start the process until in March. And then my second issue was I needed to have this surgery over the summer when my daughter
Hmm.
would be out of school. So I didn't have to have the grandbaby because they told me I couldn't lift anything, you know.
Nope.
And so I knew I was going to need a couple of weeks, to recover. And since I am her daycare, it was like it has to be within this window.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
I really felt like, there is no way from March to July that I'm going to
Hmm.
get it squeezed in there and get all this stuff done and everything. But
All the piggies had to be in a row.
yes, but
Yes.
Lord willing, He wanted me to have it done. And so even though it looked like this is never going to happen, I just kept saying, yes, I'm going through with it. I'm doing whatever I need to do. And then I guess I kind of decided that if it didn't work out, I would wait and have it at Christmas when
Hmm.
they'd be out
Yep.
for Christmas break.
Right. Yep.
But I was lucky. I got it done. Got it done on July the 8th. My daughter didn't go back to work until like July the 26th. So I had a couple of weeks and I felt
Nice.
I felt good, by the time
Yep.
I got the baby back. So it wasn't a problem like I thought it was. Plus, I had had a lot of other surgeries that took a long
Mm.
time to recover from,
Yep.
and I didn't know.
Anything in the belly area takes a long time. There's a lot of muscles and
Yes.
organs and stuff.
And I couldn't have the bypass surgery because of having the previous surgeries. I had a lot of scar tissue. And in order to do the bypass, they would have had to work around that, and they couldn't do that. So that's
Hmm.
why I had the sleeve done because that was something they could do. And he knew that I was going to have that scar tissue going into it, but it still took him about an hour of working before he could even actually do my surgery, just to be able to get the
Wow.
instruments and everything. So
Yeah,
I mean, I was happy with that I went that route and didn't
for
have
sure.
them get in there and say, "Oh, we can't do it." Now you've gone through all this and you're not having it,
Yep.
you know.
I had the bypass done. The sleeve is what they used to call stomach stapling. And so the bypass, they actually take your stomach, they make it about this big.
Mhm.
Where's a hole? There we go. Make it about that big, about the size of a walnut. And then they leave in the part that gives the hormone that says you're full. And then they take the rest of it and they completely remove about 4 feet of intestine. So it's a meter and a half of intestine, so about 4 and a bit feet. And then they reattach the stomach onto that end. So that's the bypass part. So that was a lot more involved than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
But I was also expecting to not be diabetic anymore. I was expecting to not have GERD anymore, so gastroesophageal reflux disorder. So it's like permanent heartburn, but on me it didn't hurt like heartburn. It
Mhm.
it causes like a little dry pinch in my throat and it makes me cough until I can't breathe anymore. And then there's a lot of people who can't eat anything sweet. It'll make them vomit or have diarrhea or something like that, or both. It's
Right.
called dumping syndrome. And I never had that.
Oh, well, that's
The only thing that changed for me is because I still have diabetes, I still have GERD. The only thing that changed is my stomach is smaller, so it takes very little to get me to be full. And then I am lactose intolerant now. Those are the two things. The thing is, I'm also a food addict. And as much as the surgery itself worked, the surgery, except for the diabetes and stuff like that, but the surgery did what it was supposed to do. It made my stomach smaller. It caused restriction. It makes me feel full faster. But I graze throughout the day, so I'm never really allowing my stomach to totally empty, but I'm not stretching it out either, right? So that's why I'm still like this, I look great. Like this, I look pregnant.
Yeah. How much did you lose? How much weight did you lose?
Well, I went from just over 300, like 303 or something like that, so about 300 pounds. I eventually got down to 225, but I'm way back up again. I'm about halfway in between now. So, yeah.
Well, I actually had the GERD before the surgery, and I
Same.
don't have it now.
Right.
And
Yeah,
they
that's
do
what's
say,
supposed to happen.
and they do say that when you have the sleeve done, that sometimes it even gets worse. The GERD
That's what I
does.
heard. Yep.
But I was lucky with that in that respect. Mine is non-existent really anymore. I do
Nice.
still take a medicine every day,
Same
and
here.
I do want to attempt to come off of that too eventually, because I don't know, what it'll do. It may start right back up, and I'll have to go right back on it. But
I
with
just have to be
mine,
careful of what I eat. I can't have a lot of caffeine. Definitely no tomatoes. There are certain foods that I just cannot have. I thought for the longest time I couldn't have spices. And I have found out recently that spices don't cause acid reflux. They'll diagnose, but they don't cause it. So now I'm getting back into eating flavorful foods as long as it's not tomato based or super fatty. Those are my two real things that I have to be careful.
well, I've
No,
been so lucky because I don't have any food, any one food that has given me a problem. Now,
right.
of course, if I eat like bread, rice, pasta, I get super full super fast. Like I could eat 2 bites of it, and to me it feels like it just blows up in there. And I'm
Exactly.
so full that I'm uncomfortable, and
Yep.
so I don't choose to really eat those kind of things. But everything else I can pretty well eat, but I still, and they want me to be able to eat a meal, and have a meat and a vegetable, and I still eat
Yep.
mine separate. I'll
Yeah.
eat my protein first. I'll wait
Same.
about an hour and a half. Then I'll try to eat
Oh.
some vegetables, and then the next
Oh.
time I go to
Okay.
eat, I'll eat protein again, you
Yeah.
know.
And then some
But
carb.
well, everything has carbs, you know.
True.
I mean,
That's true.
even fruit has carbs in it.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Um,
Any carb is really just sugar, starch, and fiber.
yeah.
That's what carbs are.
So you really
Yeah.
can't get away from having no carbs.
Yeah.
But my thing is that all the years that I was overweight and all the
Mm-hmm.
diets that I tried and all the
Mm-hmm.
doctors that I went to, yes,
Mm-hmm.
they all said eat lean protein.
Yeah.
But did they say you have to have it in order for your body metabolism to work and for you to be able to release weight? No.
Yes.
Did
No,
they
they don't.
explain it to me so that I understood it? Because even though they tell you to eat protein and eat vegetables, you're hungry. And so you just want to feel full, and
Hmm.
whatever that takes to fill you up so you feel full. And most of the time when you're dieting, you're limiting how much you're eating.
Yep.
And so you might look at that, that plate of vegetables might be 100 calories, but this 3 ounces of meat might be 300 calories. And so you think,
Mm.
I'm going to eat the 100 calories worth of vegetables and I'll be doing good. No,
Hmm.
if you don't have the protein, your body is like, shut down.
It
We
won't
can't get
rebuild.
rid of nothing because
That's right.
we don't know when she's going to give us any protein, and we have
Yep.
to have protein to function. So now
Exactly.
that I
Yeah.
understand how important that protein really is,
Hmm.
I can understand that it doesn't matter if I eat carbs. It doesn't matter if I eat, vegetables,
Hmm.
fat. None of that matters if I don't have my protein. I
Exactly.
have
Yep.
to have the protein and I have to have it first. And as long as I
Hmm.
get that protein, then if
Hmm.
I want a piece of something that isn't that great for me, I can still eat it and I'll still lose weight.
That's
But
right.
if I only restrict the calorie count and restrict what I'm eating and don't give it the protein, then your body's just gonna say you're not in the right,
Yeah.
fuel burning situation for us to
Right.
let you lose weight. You have to hang
Exactly.
on to everything that you've got. And I think that's where a lot of people that go on diets, they think restriction, restriction, restriction. Only eat a little tiny bit and you'll be losing weight. But your body is not set up to work that way.
Your brain, your actual physical brain needs fat. The only thing you need to survive is fat because that will also have protein in it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Um, so, like for your brain to survive, you need to eat healthy fats like avocado, uh,
Hmm.
meat with it says lean meat, but at the same time, a steak that's well marbled is technically lean, but it also has some fat throughout, right?
Right.
Fish is an excellent form of good fats. I don't like
You
it.
don't like
So I
fish?
don't eat it.
I love
I,
fish.
I like certain fish. I like certain fish, but no, I won't just take a can of salmon and open it up. So yeah.
And the other thing that nobody ever really made me understand was about drinking the water. Because
Hmm.
in order for your body to actually get rid of things, it needs the water to flush it out.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
I think a lot of people think, oh, well, that's too much water. I'm going to be, retaining water, and you know, that doesn't happen like that either. The more water
Right.
you drink, the more weight you'll lose. And so, I mean, I always have my water, and I don't leave the house without some kind of protein and my water.
Hmm.
And, I try not to make it a big deal if I'm with other people and, we
Right.
go out to dinner or something like that. They'll be like, "You're not eating very much." It's like, no, I'm going to eat what I want to eat. But when I'm done, I'm
Yep.
going to pack it up and I'm going to take it home. And this one meal, my girlfriend and I were just talking about this last night because she just had the surgery about
Mm.
maybe 2, 3 months ago.
Okay.
And we were talking about how, you know, some restaurants you go to and you get the portion of food and you think, well, gosh, that's not a very big portion. They don't give you very much for your money before surgery. This is
Right.
once
Right.
you have surgery and you realize, how little you eat at a time, that meal that you ate in one sitting before, I can eat
Yep.
on it about 4 or 5 times.
I was thinking 4 meals out of one
Yeah.
typical meal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so my daughter calls me the leftover queen
Yep.
because no matter what anybody doesn't finish, they're like, "You want to pack that in there too?" It's like, "Sure, that'll be another whole meal for me."
That's right.
And I
Yep.
always bring home all the leftovers. But my friend was, agreeing with me that that's how it is, and that the other people, because they haven't had the surgery and they don't understand, they think,
Exactly.
that you're starving yourself or that you're depriving yourself.
Yeah.
And they don't understand. You can eat what that's what people say to me. Oh, can you have this? I
Yeah.
can eat whatever I want to eat. It's
Yeah.
whether or not I'm going to feel good after I eat it, you know.
True. True.
Certain things will make me very drowsy and lethargic. And then
Yep.
if I eat too much too fast, my stomach will hurt, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and that
You
kind of
have to
thing.
eat so
Luckily,
slowly.
I
So
never,
slowly.
I never threw up. I very
No.
rarely get diarrhea or get constipated.
Right.
But I do eat fiber. I try to make sure I eat the, the good roughage.
Good. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and now I was a big salad eater before the surgery, and
Oh,
I would make a huge bowl of salad, and I
yep.
would put meat in it and all the veggies, and I would either, not have dressing on it, or I would have, fat-free dressing or whatever. Now, when I make a salad now, I mean, it's like a little tiny bit of salad, and then I
Yes.
can't always finish it. Thank goodness my
No.
granddaughter loves salad too. So I can
Oh,
make a
good.
little tiny bowl of salad and we both can eat off of it, you know. And I've done
Nice.
that a lot with her too. We can actually share a kid's meal and both
Yep.
get full and still have food left.
Yep.
So usually my daughter will say, "Well, what are you and Anais going to eat?" Because she knows that I'm not going to pay for a whole meal for her and a whole
No.
meal for me when we can,
Exactly.
share it or whatever. Which
That's right.
my daughter's a very picky eater, but my
Mm.
granddaughter, she loves all the fruits and the vegetables and the meat,
Mm-hmm.
all of that kind of stuff. So she's enjoying the food that I have to have now. So.
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful. She's learning to eat healthy, learning to share, and learning portion control at the same time without being, you have to eat, you can't eat,
Well,
you can
see,
only have, you
when
know?
when I was growing up, um, my parents had the rule: you have to take some of everything.
Yep.
Whatever the meal was, you are going to have some of it on your plate. And
Mm-hmm.
then the rule was whatever is on your plate, you are going to eat.
Yes.
And it wasn't, well, you can put it in the refrigerator and have it tomorrow. No, it was, you're going to sit there until you
Till
eat it.
you're done.
And
Yep.
every celebration that we had was centered around what kind of food are we going to have,
Oh, exactly. That's
And
so typical.
so I grew up, thinking of food as this is entertainment, this is comfort, this is fun.
This is love in the family. This
Yes.
is, yeah.
And then it became where, hi, my girl Waffles, welcome. It became where it was something I could control too. I
Mm-hmm.
could eat as much of it as I want. And so instead of how some people become anorexic because they can control
Mm.
how little they eat, I
Mm-hmm.
went the opposite way. And then
Here.
I had the polycystic ovarian syndrome, which
Mm-hmm.
causes you to be insulin resistant and causes
Yep.
your hormones to be out of whack, which both of those things make you gain weight. And
Right.
when I had it 50 years ago, it didn't even have a name to it. I
No, it
mean.
wouldn't.
And
No.
now it's so common. So many women that if they have
They know
problems,
what to do.
it's like, oh, you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. We're going to treat that. And
Yep.
back when I had it, they wouldn't even do in vitro because your eggs were not good.
Oh,
So a lot of people that had it who wanted to become mothers ended up doing adoption
for sure.
because
Or
they couldn't do,
surrogacy. Yeah.
well, even surrogacy, you'd have to have an egg donor because you couldn't
Hmm.
use your own eggs. So
Right.
it made infertility a big issue.
Really big. Yeah, for sure.
And so I had that, which I developed the diabetes from the insulin resistance. And then I also
Mm-hmm.
had a
Mm-hmm.
low functioning thyroid, which I
Mm-hmm.
now know is part of um, when part of your body doesn't work correctly on certain hormones, other parts of your body that produce other hormones, they try to take over and
That's
try
right.
to do what, to try to make it work out. And then
Right.
they get overworked and exhausted, and then you
Oh
end up
yeah.
having that problem. So I kind of got everything wrong with me, all came from the same original problem. That was
Yep.
something that nobody, we didn't know about it. And it wasn't, the
That's right.
doctors didn't know about it. And there really wasn't anything being done about it, And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know until, really when I gave birth and they said, "Oh, you have this huge ovarian cyst." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've had cysts before, And they were like, "Well, and you had infertility and you have this and you have that and you have polycystic." And I'm like, "Oh." And I had never had my thyroid tested. So when they tested that, they was like, "And your thyroid's not working."
Right.
And so it was kind of like, not that I had an excuse to be overweight, because I was a food addict too. And
Oh
I
yeah.
still ate more than I should have eaten.
Yep.
But when you combine that with a medical condition that you don't know about, and nobody, they don't know what to do for you, it's kind of like you just struggle on your own with it. So when I had my daughter and I found out all these things and found out a lot about, how my relationship with food was not a relationship
Yeah.
with fuel for my body, it was my friend, it was my comforter. And so I decided I didn't want to raise her that way. So I
No,
never
sure.
made her try things. If she didn't want to try it, she didn't have to. I never made her clean her plate. I never made her, and in reality, I let her become a very picky eater. And she has
Yeah.
a
See
way
now
of cooking food.
I did the opposite with the making them things. I made them try one bite.
Mhm,
If they didn't like it, then they didn't have to have any more.
mhm.
But one bite, because you never know if that's going to be the best thing you've ever eaten. And
Yeah.
my girls have thanked me so much for making them try all of these different things, because now they've got great options when it comes to food. Then they also know, oh, but I don't want this and I don't want this,
Mhm.
because I have had bites of that and maybe it reacted in their mouth, or maybe it was just, mm, you know, I have foods I don't like. But honestly, my mom did the same thing when I was growing up. You try everything. And that was the rule at our house, even when the girls had friends over. It's like, nope, you have to try everything. And
Mhm.
so their friends quit coming over
Well,
because I made them try food.
hi, Lisa. I made the conscious decision to not make an issue about food. I didn't want
Mm,
her to become a food addict like I was. I didn't want her to feel comforted by the food, or
right,
I tried to make celebrations more about the reason we were having the celebration, not the food part of it.
right.
Um, so anyway,
I
that
didn't.
my way didn't work either. Like I said, she does have a weight problem. She doesn't have any medical conditions right now. She was able to get pregnant.
Hmm.
I did have her tested for a lot of things when she was a teenager, because I was afraid heredity, she would have
For
different
sure.
issues.
Yeah.
So she's
Yeah.
basically, she's built a lot like my mom, who was definitely a pear shape, was about
Mm.
5'2". I take after my
Oh,
dad, who was like 6'1".
are
My
you tall as
sister,
well?
I'm 5'8".
Ooh, that is tall.
And I used to
Okay.
always say I was 5'9" too. I used to think I was
Okay.
5'9" until I went for the weight loss surgery and they actually, measured me and they were like, "You're 5'8". I'm like, "I guess for my
Yep.
size, I want to be 5'9". I don't want to be
See,
5'8".
I'm not overly wide. I'm just underly tall.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I definitely took more after the way my dad is built, and my sister and my daughter took after the way my
Hmm.
mom was built.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, genetics are very strong. You can't really escape
Right.
a lot of
Exactly.
things,
That's right. Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's an argument of nature versus nurture. And my girls were only 14 months apart.
Mhm.
So they're essentially twins as we raised them, as
Right.
they got older. Um, One daughter, very slender, like her dad's side of the family. The other one, more curvy, like my side of the family.
Mhm.
And just their characters couldn't be more different. Just amazing how this one child will react completely different to a situation than this child.
Mhm.
And, I talk about them like they're children. They're not children anymore. They're both adults. I'm old. It's a thing.
Mhm.
So
I
not
know.
quite
I talk
60
about
yet,
my
but I'm headed that
child
direction.
too, and I know a
Yeah,
lot of times when I say, she'll be out of school, they're like, "You have a child in school?"
I
No,
know.
he's the teacher, but
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But I have to say it's kind of nice. People have thought that I'm my daughter's sister.
oh,
So
that's good.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
So yeah.
definitely. I always felt like I was the oldest parent,
Mm,
you know, at the school, and things like that.
hmm.
But um, you got to play the cards God gives you. Whenever it is
Exactly.
that you're going to have your children, you have to
Yep.
deal with that kind of
If you
situation.
have children, and yeah, you're also their mama, and they will always be your babies. That's what Indigo says.
Yes, and that's
Hmm.
so true. So true.
Absolutely.
My
And I've
daughter,
told them that.
my daughter is a professional, a wife, a mother,
Hmm. Hmm.
but when she comes around me, she's my little girl, and she expects
Absolutely.
mommy to make it all better. If she's sick, I'm the first person she calls. Doesn't
Yep.
matter if it's 4 o'clock in the morning and she wants to go to the emergency room. She's not taking herself. She's
Uh-huh.
not letting her husband take her. She's calling her mama to take her. You know,
Oh,
but
okay.
I've always kind of been that person for her.
You've
And
always been her person.
yeah.
Like the two of you were on your own and you had to, it's like my mom and myself. We have such a close relationship, exactly the same reason you did. We had only each other for
Hmm.
so long. And it just, when my dad died, my parents had been divorced for 30 something years. My dad, not a good guy, but the nursing home phoned me. Hi, your dad has died. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Hung up, told my husband who was in bed with me. It was 3 in the morning.
Mm.
And I phoned my mom 2 provinces away. Mom, dad died. She's like, okay, I'm awake. Like the last thing she needs to know is about her abusive ex-husband, right? But
Exactly.
that was the first thing that came to my mind is I need to talk to my mom,
Right.
right? Just
Well, and there's been several situations where to me, her first phone call should have been to her husband.
yes,
But her
yes.
first phone call was to me, and I would say to her, "Have you told your husband?" Well, I'm
Yeah,
going to as soon as I get done talking to you about it, then I'm going to talk to him about it. And I'll be like, "Well, here's the thing.
that's right.
Hang up, call him, and then call me right back." But he,
Exactly.
and so I don't ever worry about her not telling me if something
Yep.
happens or if something's wrong because I know that she will. And
Hmm.
it's funny because I see her Monday through Friday,
Hmm.
twice a day, every
Hmm.
day. But from Friday afternoon until Monday morning, it's like you would think that I've cut her right arm off. And when we get back together on Monday morning, she's like, I've got to tell you, da 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 da.
Have I
Or
got a
if
story for
there's,
you?
or for some reason, like Valentine's Day, I kept
Yes.
my daughter that day, or my granddaughter, let her spend the night
Hmm.
so they could go out and have a date night. So
Nice.
she didn't see me. She saw me that Friday morning. She didn't see me that Friday afternoon. And then it was Saturday afternoon before she came and got the baby. And she was like, I didn't talk to you yesterday. And I'm like, yeah, you did yesterday morning. And she's like, no, no, no. I mean, after work, I didn't tell you what happened. And I was like, well, no,
Right.
I guess you didn't. So she had to, tell me all about it and everything.
Oh
And
yeah.
most
Oh, yeah.
of the time she knows what to do. She knows how she needs to handle things. But
Yes.
she likes to have mama say, "You're right. That's what I would do." That's what you ought to do.
This has nothing to do with bariatric surgery, but it's a very important conversation. Um, my mom and I, like I said, were super close. And when my husband and I first got married, his mother didn't like me. I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school when I say his mom really, she didn't trust me.
Mm.
Like I had broken up with her son years before that, but while he was doing his final exams for engineering. I didn't realize it was during his final exams. We lived in different communities. And it's like, okay, it didn't occur to me that, this was that, So from then on, she just really didn't trust me. And I don't blame her entirely because that was hard. But I was telling mom that, and she's like, okay, Kim, you need to let her teach you something. I'm like, what do you mean? Let her teach me something. When you would call me, if you want to know how long to cook a roast for, you would normally call me. I'm like, well, yeah, of course. Call her. Ask her how she would do it. If you have a question about whatever else, how to sew something or, these things that I know she has experience with, ask her how to do it. Let her teach you. Let her be the expert. You take, even if it's something I already know how to do, pretend you don't, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So that's what I tell young people, especially when they're having a hard time with getting somebody in authority over them to like them. It's like, okay, let them teach you something. Give them permission to have that authority over you. It really worked. It really, really worked. She and I get along really well now. So,
Well, I know that when my daughter was getting to know her stepmama,
mhm.
um, she was it was a very difficult situation for her because she didn't want another mama, you know.
No.
She didn't like what had happened with the
Oh,
divorce.
for sure.
She
Yeah.
wanted to have her dad in her life, and it was kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to accept the fact that this woman is here, but I don't really want to have anything to do with her.
Right.
And I told her, I said, first of all, you have to realize it's not her fault.
No, not at
If
all.
she had known about us, she
Yep.
wouldn't have went for it. She's not that kind.
Exactly.
She would have said,
That's
wait a minute,
exactly right.
you take care of that situation and then we can talk. And
Yep.
so she was blindsided and lied to as well. And
Mhm.
now that she knows about you and she wants you in her life, she doesn't know how to go about it either. She's not been
Right.
somebody's mama before. She's definitely not been somebody's stepmama before.
Mhm.
So you're going to have to give a little, and she's going to have to give a little. And
Yep.
it can be that you and her are best friends, you know?
Mhm.
She doesn't want to be your mama. You have a mama. But on the
Mhm.
same token, she wants to be part of your life. And so you have to include her in that life.
Yep.
And so what she would do is when she would introduce us, because we would go to where they live and spend holidays and go, and she has a huge extended family, and she would introduce
Mm.
us to this extended family, and she would say, this is Barry's daughter, this Allison, this is Allison's mom, but sometimes she would say, this is my bonus daughter. And I told her, I said, no, she's your daughter. You don't have to say she's your bonus daughter or whatever. If you're going to be in that position in her life, then
Mhm.
be that just
Take
be,
ownership.
you know,
Yep.
she's your daughter. It doesn't matter. You didn't have to give birth to her. It doesn't matter. If you are going to love her and treat her like a daughter, she's your daughter. And when the
That's right.
baby came, that was the same thing with the baby. This is going to be your granddaughter. The baby will never have to know the history.
No. No, for
All she'll
sure.
know is that her nana loves her. And
Yep.
that's all she needs to know. And so my
Yep.
daughter has had to realize that if you're going to share in somebody's life, you got to give them a break and you got to get
Yep.
to know them as a person. And
Yes.
so I had to like explain to my daughter, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you like her. You're not going to hurt my
Mm-hmm.
feelings if you want to go and do things with her.
Mm-hmm.
Or you want to spend time with your dad and her. It's not going to bother me, you know.
In
And
fact, that's healthy.
yeah, and but it took her a while
Yeah.
for her to see me reacting in the situation and realize, okay, my mama's telling me the truth. She does want me
Yeah.
to have a relationship with this woman, just like I want to
Right.
have a relationship with her. If it wasn't in this circumstance, we would have been good friends anyway. But
Wow.
I love my ex-husband, so I want him to have somebody that makes him happy and somebody who'll take
Mm-hmm.
care of him. And if
Mm-hmm.
that's who she is, then that's a good thing. And as long as she's good to my daughter and good to my granddaughter and good to me as well, how
Mm-hmm.
can I complain with that? You know,
Yes,
but a lot
exactly.
of my friends were like, "You're doing what? You're talking to her?" Like,
She's the
so
evil one. No, she's not.
we had my daughter's graduation from college, and of course, all of my close friends helped me throw a big open house party type thing. And of course, I invited them to come. And they were all like, how are you going to be in the same room with her? And I'm like, because we're not going to make it, I'm in the same room with her. It's a party.
It's not
There's
about
going to
me.
be a lot of people here, a lot of things. I'll be busy doing things, you know. I need y'all to make this a party, you know, be here for
Yep.
Allison. It's her celebration.
Yep. Get on
And
board.
when we eventually, sat down and we talked, and my friends were just like, I don't know how you did that, how you didn't want to just go over there and suck her in the mouth, and I'm like, well, first of all, any anger or ill feelings I had towards her were misplaced anyway, because I know she didn't know, you know.
Right.
Would I
Right.
like to do something like that to him at the time? Oh yeah, I would have
Oh
loved to.
yeah.
But I also wanted him to be Allison's dad.
Yeah.
And if he was going to be her dad, I had to let him do that however he could do it. They
Yeah.
brought her roses. And she still laughs about it to this day. She likes tulips. She doesn't like roses.
Oh,
But he didn't know her well enough to know that.
for sure. Yeah.
So he brings her this beautiful big bouquet of roses. And she's like, can you believe he gave me roses? I'm like, roses are very nice. And she's like, but I like tulips. I said, I know you do. But you remember, I had to tell your husband, don't buy roses, get her tulips.
Because Rose is the big, fancy,
Yeah.
affectionate everything. Yeah.
And then she doesn't wear necklaces. She will wear
Mm-hmm.
earrings and she will wear a bracelet.
Ah,
They
okay.
bought her a diamond necklace. And
Yeah.
she was like, if they knew me at all.
Well, they
Well,
don't.
the
So
next
give them a
the next
break.
Christmas though, he got her diamond earrings,
Nice.
which is what he should have got her to begin with. But,
Yeah.
he thought the necklace.
Yeah.
So, even though he'd been her dad and, you think they know her or that he would know her and know her likes and her dislikes, he really did. And most men don't. Most men you have to help and tell them, get this or get that. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
definitely a learning process, for her to be like, gee, he's supposed to know me and love me, and this is what he's doing. But then
Mm-hmm.
when he took an interest in her classroom and wanted to buy her, stuff for her
Mm.
classroom, well, then that was perfectly fine.
Oh, for
And
sure.
like when she goes up there, he'll go and get new tires put on her car
Yeah.
and get her oil changed and put on new wiper blades if she needs them or whatever. He does a lot of things for her that she doesn't necessarily ask him for or
No.
isn't waiting around to do it for him to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just, and during the big C, he bought her a phone sterilizer
Ooh,
so that,
nice.
you could sterilize your phone. And she was like, and I think it was for her birthday. And
Okay.
she was like, that's the worst birthday present ever. And I said, well, he's trying to keep you safe. I mean, we don't know what these germs are doing. So I would take it as he was trying to figure out what can I do to try to keep my daughter safe.
On April 1st, I'm going to be having a panel of people on. You can join the panel if you like. It's Tuesday. And we're going to be talking about the 5 love languages. And one of the love languages is acts of service.
Service.
So maybe there's no words, like if you need to hear the words, but your partner would have no clue what words to say, or don't even think to say the words because that's not their love language. You
Right.
have to learn to listen to their love language. So we're going to be talking about that. What time is the panel? It'll be 6 o'clock in the evening, Mountain Standard Time. So
Which
1
is
hour off
45
of
Eastern.
Pacific, 1 hour off of Central.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Our province doesn't change time with the clocks. We change time zones with whoever's around us who've changed. So yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
Definitely strange. Well, and talking about love languages, my daughter's love language is acts of service.
Oh
And
yeah.
mine are words of affirmation.
Yeah.
So she'll say, Mama, make me this or get me that or whatever. And I'll say, well, okay, but do you love me? She'll be like, yes, I love you. And I do what I asked you to do for me. But it's just so funny.
Say please.
Like, I know exactly, the things that
Yep.
she wants me to do, to comfort her and take care of her.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it is
Absolutely.
funny how different things mean different things to different people.
Absolutely. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
but I do want to talk about one thing because I want to know if you experienced it
Gotcha. Yep.
yourself after your surgery.
Okay.
I was very surprised at where I lost weight instead of where I thought I would lose it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It really does. I have yo-yoed so many times that I knew where I was going to lose the weight. I actually lose it in my middle, where everybody wants to lose it. That's where I
Right.
tend to lose it most.
Uh-huh.
My bust and my bottom stayed pretty close to the same size, but my middle is where I lost most of it. So, yeah, I wasn't overly surprised. How about yourself?
Well, I wanted to lose it in my midsection for sure.
Yep.
I never really thought that my legs were that big or that my arms were that big. I always, thought, well, I'll lose it, where I want to lose it.
No.
I lost it in my wrists first, is the first place I noticed that
Really?
I was losing weight. And then
Yeah.
in my calves, and it's like, eventually I've lost it all over. But as far as like where I could see it or I could feel it at first was not where I expected it, to be.
Right.
But I was reading something the other day and it said that you lose your fat that is around your organs.
That's right. Your visceral fat
is the bad fat that you want to get rid of anyway.
Yep.
But you'll lose that before you'll actually just lose the fat that's under the skin.
Absolutely. That's why you need to look for non-scale victories. And I hate to do this, but I am having an emergent need to use the washroom. So you go ahead and chat.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. I totally understand what she means by that. Sometimes you don't have many options. Indigo says, I am the opposite. I lose my chest and my bum, but have a tummy. I lost a lot in my boobs. I understand now why a lot of women, when they have the excess skin taken off their stomachs, that they go ahead and have the boob job done at the same time, because they really have lost a lot of that. I'm going to see if it'll let me share this screen. Not sure. Let me see. I don't think I have them. Oh no, I only have the old ones because this is on StreamYard and not on my. Let me share the screen. I just recently had a picture taken, and I have like a side-by-side comparison of the. Oops. Okay. I didn't mean to. I thought I lost y'all. Hold on just a second. Hopefully this is going to work. Well, I'm not sharing it on the screen, so I will not do that. But when Kim comes back, we will get her to share the screen, as I sent her the pictures as well. Hello, Eric. It's nice to meet you too.
Hello. Okay, yes, I will share the screen.
Yeah, I was trying to do it, but I wasn't successful.
Okay, so first of all, I have to get your pictures up. And yeah, no, I could hear everything that was going on. I
was like, I'm going to try, but it's been a while since I've been on StreamYard, so I didn't know what to do.
That's okay. They've actually changed a few things, which is kind of cool. There we go. Do you want to show all of them?
It doesn't matter. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious from the front on view, but
actually, I have an easier time seeing the side view.
okay.
So I'm going to show that. I'll show all of them. I just have to share screen. I'm going to share window. Apparently not. Window, go away. Entire screen. Why are you not behaving? Screen sharing was canceled. Make sure you share on the modal and not cancel. Why is it not working? Gracious.
There it goes.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and unfortunately, my daughter didn't stand the same distance, so that's why it looks like
you
I'm
look much shorter.
much taller now. I've lost weight and I'm taller.
But you can see your head is at the same point on the door, so that look at your face. Look at the difference. Wow. And the Think Happy, Be Happy shirt is a little ironic since you're smiling so big.
Yeah. This is from Buc-ee's, And this was the biggest shirt that Bucky's had, which was a 3X. And you can see it is
Mm.
skin tight on me in
Mm-hmm.
the beginning.
Yep.
So I made sure that I kept it so that I could take comparison, pictures in it. And
Right.
even
There you go.
that,
There's the.
I mean, you can see through my butt and
Mm-hmm.
my shoulders were, I mean, I couldn't even put my arms straight down. My arm, and that's
Right.
one thing too. I can now cross my legs and I can actually put my
Ooh.
legs together. I can put my feet together and have my knees touch, whereas never before. And
Right.
those are the non-scale victories that let you know you've definitely
Exactly.
changed where the
Exactly.
weight is because of the things that you can do that you couldn't do before. And I had
Yeah.
terrible breathing problems.
Mm.
If I would get sick, I would have to use an inhaler and be treated for asthma because
Oh,
I would get
wow.
so short of breath and I would be wheezing so bad. And even just carrying groceries from the parking lot, I mean, I park right outside my door, but from the parking lot into the house,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to
Mm-hmm.
stop and rest. I would be all
Yep.
out of breath. And,
Absolutely.
I
Yep.
don't have those kind of issues anymore. Um,
Right.
but
How are you with walking? Do you walk a fair bit? Like go
I
for a
I
walk
do,
somewhere?
yeah, I do try to walk a lot, and I go to the YMCA and I walk on the treadmill, and I
Mm-hmm.
use 2 different leg machines and one bicep machine, and then like one chest machine.
The pull
Uh,
down one
yeah,
and
and I'm having some problems with this shoulder. It's like I don't have
mm,
full range of motion in it, so I have to be kind of careful when I do anything, arm wise. But I can do my legs, the leg machines, no problem.
okay.
But I do try to walk, and we have a playground here in the apartment complex, and my granddaughter loves going to the playground. And before,
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, oh God, Granny's too tired to walk
Yep.
down there and then have to walk back. Even putting her in the car and driving down there was like too much.
Yep.
Now we walk to the playground. Sometimes we make the whole loop all the way around the complex.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
has changed a lot. And I can go shopping. I would be looking for a chair whenever I would go
Mm-hmm.
shopping. I would have
Mm-hmm.
to have the buggy, to lean on. I most of the time would ride an electric cart if they had one. And
Yep.
then within the store, I would be looking where are there benches or chairs or someplace
Yes.
that I could sit, to rest. I couldn't just
Yep.
walk until I was done walking.
Right. Because
Um,
and that's something I still have a hard time with is because my back is not yet strong the way
mhm,
where it should be. Like you said, doing dishes was difficult because you're standing and your back just anyway.
mhm.
But when I was doing more walking, my back was strong enough that I could do that. And I have totally lost where my brain was going. I hate when I do that. Anyways, so yeah, walking is something that I really need to get back into doing. Just that extra bit of strength makes a huge difference. Huge difference.
It does.
So,
Um,
yeah.
I have just one step from the parking lot up onto the sidewalk. And I mean, I would have to literally stop, think,
Hmm.
lift your foot up, lift your other foot up.
That's where
And
I was going. Yep.
and now I don't even think about it. And I
Nope.
can remember times that I would park the car right to the curb so that I could
Hmm.
put my hand on the hood of the car to kind of help myself up that
Yep.
one, step or whatever.
Yep.
And if I had to go on walk stairs, forget it. I would not be able to.
Yep.
I had to go downtown. It was a couple of months ago, and I had my granddaughter with me. And the building that I had to go, it was like a government building, and I had to go on the second floor. And when we
Mm.
got there, they said the elevator was broken. So we had to climb 2 flights of stairs up and 2 flights of stairs down. And I wasn't even the least bit winded. I was like, I
Oh,
can't believe
nice.
I could do that. I was tickled to death that I
Yes.
was able to do that. Oh, and I know what I wanted to say too. This year on my birthday, I had to get my driver's license renewed. And my daughter said, well, you can renew it online. And I said, yeah, but they're going to use the same picture. I don't want that picture. I want a new picture taken. And so I got my new license. And this is the first time in my adult life that my driver's license has the correct height and weight on it as of
Nice.
now my weight's a little
Nice.
less now than it was on that day, but I have always not told the truth on that. And
Yeah.
like I said, I thought I was 5'9" anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I have 5'8" on there, and I actually put the correct weight on it. And yesterday, when I went to the YMCA, I asked them to take a new picture for my ID. And the guy kind of looked at me like, well, you got your ID right there. What's wrong with it? And I said,
Look
oh,
at the photo.
look at the picture. I said, I've lost 80 pounds and I'm not this person anymore. And I need a new picture. And he was like, yes, you do. So he went ahead
Yep.
and gave me the picture.
That's what I was going to say is going for a walk. I don't want to walk outside because I can't guarantee I'll make it all the way around the block and not have to. When I have to finish walking, it's because my back has seized, so my legs won't actually move. And I can't allow myself to do that. So we do have a treadmill in the basement, and I haven't used it enough, but I need to get back on that thing so that I can do a circuit around. A few years ago, my mom lived in the same small town as I did, and it was not long after I had surgery. So we would walk around town and then go to her place, which was only a 5-minute walk from my house. So we do a 20-minute walk and then walk to her house and then walk home. Man, that was nice. And oh, did I ever burn my arm? Okay.
Ooh.
It's you can barely see it here, but on screen, man, you can see it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
I touched the oven by accident.
Ooh.
So anyways, but yeah, no, that was gonna say, like, going upstairs, I'll have to stop halfway upstairs, and walking around a full block doesn't happen anymore for me.
Well, when I first started losing the feeling in my feet, I felt a lot.
Yeah.
And the doctor did tell me that the better control your sugar is, the less you'll have the balance problems and the weakness and all of that. And so I have the rollator, the walker with the wheels and the seat, and I have a cane, and I have a wheelchair because in my past, one time or another, I've had to use all of those things.
Any one of them. Yep.
I don't use anything now. And to me, that's enough of a victory. I mean, yes, I'm getting
Absolutely.
arthritis. Like I said, I can tell something's not right with my shoulder. I have arthritis bad in this one thumb joint, which is I'm right-handed, so it affects my writing. It affects me doing certain things with my hand. But other than that, my hips don't bother me. My knees don't bother me. My back's not bothering me. Nothing like that. So I feel like I'm probably, pretty good, as far as that kind of stuff.
For sure. Oh,
But
that's
I definitely
wonderful.
don't feel as I felt way older before I had the surgery than I feel now. And I mean, I can remember there were days that I'd go get my granddaughter and we'd come back and I'd lay on the couch and just let her play, and take a nap when she took a nap, and, not get anything accomplished at all because that's all I could do,
That's right.
And that it's not like that anymore. I'm much more active and can do so much more things, for myself.
Oh, Echo, I'm
and
so
by
happy
myself.
for you. This is, people talk about losing weight. They talk about the scale. They talk about the numbers. They talk about the measuring tape. what Echo and I are talking about are non-scale victories.
Yes.
And like, can I sit on an airplane seat and not need the extender?
Yes.
Can I sit on a couch and take up only one cushion?
And what
You know,
about,
like,
can I get up off?
can I get off the
couch?
couch?
Some
Yes.
couches you like sink down and then you have to like have help getting up
Mm-hmm.
off the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I want to read y'all something that somebody shared on Facebook the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I commented back and said, that's exactly how I felt before I had my surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Find it. I have that problem where I screenshot everything so that
Yes.
I'll be able to find it later, and then I can't find anything because I have so
Because you've
much
done so many.
on my
Yep.
phone.
I actually just got rid of 1,100 screenshot photos from my phone.
Oh my goodness.
I went through all of them and I left 30. That it's
Mm.
like, no, I really want these ones. Everything else, gone. But that was 1,100 photos.
A lot of them
Oh,
are my of my granddaughter,
mm-hmm.
and so it's hard to. But most of them my daughter has as well. So if I don't have them, I can always get them, back from her or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is starting to make me wonder: did I actually, did I just comment on it, or did I actually take the screenshot of it? Pretty
You're right,
sure.
Indigo. 1,100 is excessive.
Come on. All right. Well, I'm going to go on Facebook because I know I would have almost sworn that I had screenshotted it,
Okay.
but I know where I saw it at, so I can find it.
Okay.
This signs you're in survival mode.
Oh, yes.
Little things can set you off and feel
Mm-hmm.
overwhelming. You
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're existing rather than living. You feel more tired physically and emotionally. Your
Mm-hmm.
memory and concentration are suffering. You feel a lack of motivation and passion.
Mm-hmm.
You want to withdraw and isolate from others. You feel
Mm-hmm.
out of control and anxious.
Yep.
And that, when I read that, I was like, that just sums it up of how I was feeling
Doesn't it?
before I had the surgery.
Yep.
And yes, our mental health and our emotional health can have a lot to do with how we feel, but our physical health really can take a
Sure
toll.
does. Yep.
And between losing the weight and getting off a lot of medications and not having
Mm-hmm.
that, and also feeling better about myself and being able to be
Mm-hmm.
more active, it's like that's a totally different person. It's like I don't know who that person is anymore.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
and if I never lost another pound, my surgery was a huge success because
That's
it
right.
changed up here.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed. I needed to understand the way the body works and what I was doing, why what I was doing wasn't ever working, and why I was not
Right.
successful before.
Right.
And I'm not going to be deprived. I'm not going to feel bad that I can't have certain things. If
Right.
I want something, I will have it. But I am not going to make myself be miserable and feel bad,
Mm-hmm.
because of it. Especially when I
Mm-hmm.
know if I wait 3 or 4 hours, I can eat some more of whatever that delicious thing was. you know,
Exactly.
that
Yes.
I thought I needed to have a few more bites of, you know.
Yep. Yep. That's right.
So, and
This is actually bubble tea. So,
I
are you
think
familiar with bubble tea?
yeah, with the little
Yeah.
gelatin
With the,
things in it.
yep.
It's been harder for me to get other people to understand that
Mm-hmm.
having surgery is not a quick fix. It still takes a while for it to work,
And it
and
takes
you have
brain
to work.
work.
Yeah, you have to work at it because
You
you
do.
could sit and eat nothing but carbs and bad fat, and you would not lose any weight,
That's right.
you know? So
Yep.
I have a friend that has been taking one of the weight loss shots. And
Mm-hmm.
she said to me the other day, I feel like I'm a fraud. I feel like I took the easy way out. And I said, you still had to control what you put in your mouth. Just
That's
because
right.
the shot maybe helped you not be as hungry or to feel full faster, you
That's it.
still had
Yes.
to stop eating. Because even with the surgery, if
Mm-hmm.
you really wanted to overeat, you
You
could.
still can. Yep. Absolutely.
It's not like it's a automatic cutoff where you're just like, oh, I'm up to here now. I can't take another bite. No, you could if you
Do you know
wanted
how
to.
I know that I have an addiction rather than just I like being fat? Is
Hmm.
I will be uncomfortably full, like painfully full,
Hmm.
and I will still want to eat more because I want that flavor in my mouth.
Yeah.
And just for people who don't realize, for Echo and I, that extra feeling of super, super, super full, that's 1 tablespoon of food.
Hmm.
That is not like an extra hamburger. That is an extra
No.
bite of a hamburger. Then you have to know, and that's why you have to eat so slowly. You have to give your body a chance to tell you that you're full.
And that's like we were talking earlier. I still measure my food.
Yep,
And
yep,
then sometimes I can't even finish
hmm,
the portion that I've measured out that I
for
know it's
sure.
okay if I ate that amount.
Yep.
And I have an app on my phone where I log all the food that I eat, and
Is
it
it my
tracks.
fitness pal?
It's actually it's called Bariatrics. It's for
Oh,
when you've had surgery, um,
well, there
and
you go.
it tracks your water, your calcium, I mean, it
Yep,
tracks everything for you.
all the macros and yep.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's helped me a lot too. Is that I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to be honest with what I log in there. But sometimes you might think twice about, gee, do I really want to have to put that in there that I ate that? But
Yep,
then again, you might only take, the thing you want might have 200 calories, but you might only eat a fourth of that. So that's only
that's
50
right.
calories.
That's right.
But you really have to, weigh it out and say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
And then eat until you are comfortably full and then stop. Because with
Exactly.
me,
Yep.
I know if I keep going, it's going to hurt. And it's not like a pain, like a stabbing pain. It's just a very uncomfortable, like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
for me,
so
it's like
full.
this pressure right
Yeah,
here, and it won't go down.
yes.
Other restrained, who happens to be Body Illusion's son, has also had
Mm-hmm.
bariatric surgery, and he uses MyFitnessPal, which is the one we were told to use for our
Mm-hmm.
program. It's just
Oh, I
they know
didn't know
that
he
that's
did surgery.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
Um,
had surgery. He and I talked about that, not online, but we did talk about that a while back.
oh, okay.
So that was another thing that he and I thought we could probably talk about online, and we probably still will.
Yeah,
So,
I'd love to hear a
yeah,
man's perspective of it.
it's a different perspective, isn't it?
Perspective, yeah.
So,
And
other, email me, let me know when you're going to come on and we can talk bariatrics.
I really had to learn that it's my journey. It doesn't matter what somebody else's journey's been like.
That's right.
It's going to be how it is for me and what I
Mm-hmm.
make of it, what I decide to do with it. And people that love you and care about you, they mean well. And
They do.
they will try to help you, but they also worry about you. And
They do.
because they're still eating regular sized portions, they just don't think you're getting enough, or they
Well,
think you're losing too fast, or, and it's like I had to explain to my daughter, look, your body is not going to let you starve. Okay.
no, no.
It is going to shut down before you get to starvation mode.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry, about that.
Yeah.
And I never set a goal for like how much I wanted to lose. And I never
Right.
took any measurements at all because it really wasn't about that to me. It was
That's
to
right.
try to restore my feeling of good health,
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I really go by my clothes, how my clothes fit, how my clothes
Mm-hmm.
feel. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something else too I wanted to ask you about. I dressed um trying to think of the word that I want to use, in a way that was covered up, um, and to draw as
The tent
little,
and awning shop.
to
Yeah.
draw as little as possible attention to my lumps and bumps. And, I would always
Yeah.
say they're my fat rolls and that's my business, not
That's
your
right.
business.
That's right.
And so I really, I would never buy something like this is a cotton material. This is
Mm.
it has no stretch to it
No
whatsoever.
jersey knit.
I would never buy something like that. I had to have something that I could tug at and stretch and, um, and something that would hang more so.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I took the picture, the before picture in that t-shirt, because that was the tightest,
Mm.
fittingest thing that I owned. Everything else
Mm-hmm.
would have been more like a tent, and I
Right.
wanted to be able to see the difference, you know.
Right. For sure.
Um,
Yep.
but I was always hot natured. I always needed the ceiling fan. I have a fan
Yep.
right here on my desk. I have a fan beside my bed. I have a
Mm-hmm.
ceiling fan in my bedroom. Everybody else would be, you don't turn the heat
Frozen.
on soon enough in the winter. You have the
Yep.
air set too cold. I mean, I keep a blanket on the couch because when my daughter comes, she covers up with that blanket because it's always too cold for her. Well,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? All of a sudden, I'm like, turn that ceiling fan off. I am cold. And
Yep.
I'm like, I need a sweater. I need a long sleeve shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I didn't own anything like that because I might put on a sweatshirt jacket when it was 32 degrees outside, but
Yep.
I was going to get hot in the car if you had the heater running in the car.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so all of a sudden, I'm like, I need some pajama pants and I need some long sleeve shirts and I need a sweater. And my daughter's like, have you lost your mind? And I'm like,
No, I've lost my
oh,
weight.
I'm cold. It's like,
Yes.
I
Yes.
am cold. And she's like, I never thought I would see the day that you, of all people, would be cold. Because
Mm-hmm.
I would fight with them. I would argue with them. I would say, it's my house. I pay the electric bill. I'm going to be comfortable. If you don't like it, you put on an extra, sweater or whatever. Get the blanket. I
That's
don't
right.
care. I'm going
Yeah.
to be comfortable in my own house.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I can't even go in the grocery store, like in the frozen section and the refrigerated section,
Yep. Yep.
just in like a short sleeve shirt. I'm like, I keep my sweatshirt jacket in the car. And my daughter would be like, why are you taking your jacket? It's 70 degrees outside. Yeah, but it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
cold in that store when we get in there, you know. And I never would do that before. That would be the last thing you would ever hear me say is that I was cold.
Yeah. I like this from Body Illusion. You lost a teenage person, Echo.
Yes, I did.
Yep, absolutely. She
Yeah.
lost a 13-year-old. The whole thing gone.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And I cannot remember ever weighing what I weigh now. Now, I know when I was in high school, I was
Mm-hmm.
well over 200. I don't remember.
Mm,
I don't remember when I got over 200, and I don't
mm,
remember going up from 200. The only
mm-hmm.
weight that I actually remember is when I gave birth to my daughter, I weighed
Mm-hmm.
293 pounds.
Right.
I don't believe I lost any baby weight at all after her,
Nope. I sure didn't.
and
I
then I
know that
gained
I went up
even
to,
more.
yeah. Yeah, I do remember when I hit that 200 mark and then kept going up. My older daughter, I weighed 185 when she was born, and I haven't been below that in 20 something years. So, yeah. Actually, I haven't been below 200 in probably close to 20 years.
And that's,
So, yeah.
I always wanted pants that were wide legs, even though I have skinny calves,
Mm-hmm.
heavier thighs. And so I would want,
Mm-hmm.
like the wider leg. And now I want the skinny leg because I like the way
Mm-hmm.
my ankle and my lower leg, how,
Mm-hmm.
how they look. And my
Yep.
daughter said the other day, that she can't believe that I'm like, wanting these clothes that you would never catch me. Never, never. And now
Yep.
I'm like, oh, look how cute this is. And like I like leopard print or animal print. I would
Yep.
never, I would never wear that. I mean, I was ordering from the catalog, and if I found a shirt that I liked that was comfortable, I'd get every color.
Oh, I do that anyways, just because I like it and I know I'm going to wear it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I went through a tote today actually because I'm running out of hangers because I'm
Mm.
um getting clothes that I'm hanging up
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not
Mm-hmm.
getting rid of clothes. So I need to start
Mm.
weeding out some of these
Yep.
clothes
You
that I'm
need to
not
start
wearing.
purging
And
your
so
closet.
I had a tote and I thought, what is in this tote? Well, it was some of my bigger stuff. But then
Yep.
when I got down about halfway through, it was some 1X stuff. And I
Ooh.
was, I can wear a 3 in almost anything now. And I can
Okay.
wear a 2X in some things, but had not tried any 1Xs.
Mm.
And so I said, okay, we're probably going to put these back in the box when we're done, but we're going to take them in the bathroom. We're going to try them on.
That's
And here's
right.
my
Do a fashion
granddaughter.
show.
That fits. I'm like, it certainly does. And most of them are sleeveless and lightweight for summer. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, why do I even have these? I don't even know where they came from. I would never have bought a 1X. The only thing I need to think of is maybe they were my daughter's and she outgrew them and I never got rid
That's
of them.
entirely possible.
So I
Yeah.
have in my closet now, I have from a 1X to a 5X. So I've got
Mm-hmm.
to start going through. I've already had to take pants out of the rotation because I've lost so much in my butt that the pants
Mm-hmm.
want to sag, and I hate that.
Yes.
So I'm like,
Yep.
can't wear that
That's
anymore.
why I wear almost nothing but leggings. I have however many pairs of leggings. I have 2 pairs of pants that have actual structure. Everything else is just a stretchy legging. And it's
Mhm.
not because I want the stretch, it's because I like the fit, right? And yeah.
So
So
it's almost like I'm a
Ace,
teenager. What is it?
Ace Florida 1, is that right? Or Ace
Might be.
FLA1?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I'm not familiar with that person, so welcome.
I'm not either. But welcome. Oh, and wheelchair girl. Hi.
Yeah,
I'm
we've
not
got a
paying
few people we
attention.
haven't said hello to. So,
And
Other
my girl
Restrained,
Waffle.
hello.
I'm not
Aria,
gonna.
glad you're here.
I'm not
Aria,
gonna
do
do
you,
my
oh,
best.
Rudy, Fern with Autism Homestead. Okay.
Hi,
Um,
Rudy.
Be Creative Crafts is live now. Very nice. Very nice.
Good.
Are you familiar with Aria? Do you know
She
her
went
at
ahead
all?
to twins.
I don't know if she had twins. I know she has a baby
I think.
who had surgery
Oh
just
no,
recently.
different
Okay.
person. Different
Okay.
person.
So her baby, they're hoping she's coming off the ventilator tomorrow so she can cuddle her
Oh,
baby again. I am so
oh,
excited. We've been praying for her since the baby had surgery. So,
oh.
yeah, little
Yes,
itty
she did have
bitty.
twins. Okay. Yes, I thought that was the name. Yeah, she had two little girls, right?
Okay. And
Yeah.
one of them
Okay.
was obviously then very sick.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah.
But I
There's a
definitely feel
lot
like
of
a
people that we
teenager,
know with autism who are
you
on the
know,
spectrum.
that I never, I didn't like to shop for clothes. And
Mm.
I never could
And now
really
you do?
find anything, it was like
Yeah.
you pretty much had to get whatever you could find that would fit, and that was it. It wasn't fun. You couldn't find anything you thought was cute or anything like that.
Exactly.
So now I'm kind of like, I'll sit there and I'll look and I'll look and I look, and I'm like, I wonder if I could wear that.
Yep.
But it
They
just
have some
changes you.
stores. They have some stores in the city that I live close to that actually have some really cute big girl clothing. So we're not limited to say Walmart and other chain stores that'll have up to say a 3 or 4X.
Hmm.
We have some other stores that have some really cute 4, 5X, 6X clothes that I never had to go up to a 6X. My highest was a 4X, but my highest pants was a size 26.
Yeah. Now I
Yeah.
was wearing a 26, 28 with elastic waist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it wasn't because of my butt and my hips. It was definitely because of my belly.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and I've got some 22s that are getting loose that I'm going to have to get a 20. But
Nice.
I've been shopping a lot at Goodwill and thrift
Yep.
stores because I
Yep.
don't want to put out a lot of money if I'm not going to stay in those sizes.
See,
So,
that's why I like the stretchy things.
yeah.
If as you lose, they lose too.
And this is something, I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the United States, which I know we get most of our clothes from other countries,
Hmm.
sizes do not run the same
No,
for different manufacturers and different
that's
styles
exactly
and
right.
different
Yep.
materials. And I
Yep.
actually have two pairs of leggings that were 3X's, that I mean, I looked like a sausage in too small of a casing and still couldn't get them on.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear them. And now
Right.
I can wear them just fine. So
Perfect.
there's a lot of things that I keep having to go back and try again and say, well, maybe now I can wear that or whatever.
Yep.
And like I bought
Yep.
myself new pajamas at Christmas, and I bought a
Hmm.
3X, and they were big on me at that point. But I was like, I don't want to get a 2X and have them be too tight.
Right. With
So I
pajamas, you
went,
want to have it loose and
yeah,
comfortable, and yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
But
Yeah,
I have a
European
couple.
sizes and US sizes don't match up, and especially Asian sizes.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
they'll say it's a 6X Asian size, and that's a size large
yeah.
in North American sizes.
Hmm.
So you have to be very careful with where it's coming from. Nothing with a belt, absolutely, and no accent on the belly. Yeah. So,
And one of
yeah.
the things I found today was a long black skirt that was a 1X.
Mm,
I know I have a 3X long black skirt in my closet. And I said, well, I bet you that thing won't fit now if this 1X is fitting. So I was like, yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do this weekend is I'm going to really have a pulling out party and getting rid of a lot of that stuff
awesome.
that I don't need to have. And I actually have brand new underwear
Yeah.
that I accidentally had bought in two sizes too small.
Mm,
The whole pack. I don't know what I was doing, why I bought that size, but
Hmm.
then when I got them home, I couldn't hardly get them on. And I
Exactly.
said,
Yep.
okay, these are uncomfortable. And I went and I bought the correct size. Well, now the correct size are way too big. And the other day I accidentally picked one of those pairs by mistake. And I was like, oh, it fits now. Okay. So I'm like, I even need to change out my underwear. And I have some bras in there that I bet you fit me better now,
Yep.
too.
Yep.
I had gotten to where I would only wear like a sports bra because I didn't like the
Mm,
restriction. And it wasn't
right.
because of the boobs, it was because of the, going
Back.
around.
Yes.
So
Yeah. The belt. Yeah.
I, I,
Exactly.
I need to try those and see. I might actually have some nice bras that I can wear.
Actually, the one of the chains. Do you guys have Penningtons in the
No.
States?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Pennington's is one of the chain stores we have here that is meant for big girls, and they've got some pretty clothes in there, like really nice clothing, and they have pretty lingerie for people
Oh,
up to say a 48X or 48 H or whatever bra size you are.
yeah.
And
Wow.
just recently, I'm not going to show you the bra because it's gorgeous and it's personal, but I bought 3 bras that I never thought they would actually make bras like that in my size
Mm-hmm.
and like with the front closure. So, and these have this, I'll show you later when we're no longer on the air, I'll show you. But it is really, really nice to be able to have those types of options. And then once you do start to shrink, to have options that can continue to shrink with you, like clothing stores where they'll have this and then this. There's
Yeah.
another clothing store called Maurice's. Are you familiar with that one?
Mm-mm.
Okay. They have everything from a size 0, like skinny girl 0, to a size 4X.
Wow.
And they are all cute clothing. All of it.
See, in the
It's not,
United States, it's like if you're not 80 and wanting to wear a muumuu,
hmm.
it's hard to find clothes,
Oh,
that'll
absolutely.
fit.
Yes.
And see, I worked at Walmart for 17 and a half years. And
Hmm.
a good portion of that time, we had a dress code. We had to wear certain color slacks and certain color shirts.
Mm.
And so
Hmm.
I would not buy something if it wasn't within that dress code that I could also wear
Absolutely.
to work.
Absolutely.
And I own 3 pairs of shoes.
Hmm.
And that's because not only do I have problems with my feet, but I wouldn't buy a pair of shoes I couldn't wear to work. And when you're on
Absolutely.
that concrete floor for 8 to 10 hours a day,
Oh, yeah.
you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
have good shoes.
Yep.
So now I'm excited, like, I'm going to get some shoes that I can just wear for a couple hours.
Exactly.
It's
Crystal,
so fun though.
my Crystal, my girl,
Mhm.
she has worked at Walmart for 25 years now. Can you
I
imagine
know
working
she
at
had
this?
her,
She had her 25th
yeah.
anniversary cake but could you
Hmm.
imagine working anywhere for 25 years? That is so unusual in this day and age.
Yes, it
So,
is. And
yeah.
Walmart, it's like twice,
Hmm.
twice as unusual being that it's Walmart because Walmart is known for their turnover.
Yes, they are. Yeah. So other restraint is talking about a belt. He does thrift for belt and pants and shirts,
Hmm.
but his belts were in women's sizes when he was the smallest. Yep. Yeah, and some people are not shaped the same way a typical woman is shaped. Some people are
True.
more straight down like a man would be. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, your pant size would be in men's sizes. They wouldn't be in the women's sizes. It really annoys me when they say, "Oh, you can't wear thus and such because it's made for this gender," or you're cross dressing. I knew a guy who could only wear women's jeans because he was a speed skater, and
Hmm.
so his bottom half had all the curves that a woman's body would have.
Right.
So he wore women's jeans because that's what fit him.
And this is totally off topic, but this is how I feel about the whole gender thing.
Hmm.
Everyone has a feminine side and a
Mm-hmm.
masculine side.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Some people are more feminine and some are more
Yep.
masculine.
Yep.
But I don't know why you're still a person. You're a person first, and then you're a gender. And
Yeah.
I don't understand why we're hung up on, well, what gender do they um, identify with?
Yeah.
Why do we have to identify with one or the other? Or, you know, I mean, some
Out
days,
there, welcome to the world of women's pants. A pocket that only holds half a credit card.
yes,
Because we don't carry anything in pants.
no.
Anyway, sorry. Just
But,
yeah.
I mean, I don't care what people's sexual orientation is. I don't care what their gender identity is. I don't care
Yep.
about any of that. If you are a
Yep.
human being and you
You
treat me
deserve
with
love.
respect, I will treat you with respect.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
I don't want you coming and telling me how I need to live my life to suit you. And I'm not going to come and tell you you need to live a certain way to suit me.
Exactly.
I don't want somebody to be telling me that. And it's not because I want to do anything, out of my gender or, whatever. It's
Right.
just the fact that I feel like I have certain freedoms and I should be allowed to conduct my life in the way that I see fit. And I
Yep.
don't want somebody telling me what that should be or what that should look like. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
think we should, mandate that to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I never cared. Love is love. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You can feel
Yeah.
love for a friend. It may not be
Absolutely.
a sexual kind of love, or a romantic kind of love, but you may still feel a love for that friend.
Absolutely.
And
I know a young, not a young couple because they're not a couple. One of them is dating a guy. The other one is the girl's roommate, who is gender non-specific, so non-binary,
mhm,
assigned female at birth. They hate the fact that there is a gender even that needs to be said.
mhm,
Anyway, so the girl marry or not marrying, dating the guy, they're a couple. The non-binary person loves this girl to the extent she has never loved anyone in their life. And it's not romantic.
mm,
It is just love,
mhm.
right? And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
This girl doesn't feel that same kind of love,
Mhm,
but they still have this amazing relationship. And they
mhm.
likely will remain roommates forever,
Yeah.
as far as I know. I don't know. But hey, Misha joined us.
Hi, Misha.
Yes. So yeah, it's just love is love, and there shouldn't be categories, like yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing that, my daughter being in education sees the pressures that kids
Mm-hmm.
have to
Mm-hmm.
try to conform and try to, fit the mold. And,
Mm-hmm.
and so she's made the conscious decision with my granddaughter that we don't say, oh no, those are trucks, those are boy toys, or no, that's
Exactly.
that's a baby doll, that's okay to play with because that's a girl toy. you know
Yeah.
we don't say certain colors are male or female, or
Yeah.
anything like that. She can play and do, and if she wants to be a dinosaur one day and a little boy the next day, who cares?
Yep.
you know
Yep.
and um I've had people kind of, be like, well, she sure does like getting down in the dirt with those trucks. And well, yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
Why not?
But she also likes to be the mommy and carry the baby doll around. She also likes to put
Mm-hmm.
on jewelry and princess dresses, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She's
My
a kid,
daughters,
you know.
one of them has never, ever, ever been maternal. When she was a little girl, she played with a baby doll, and it was more baby playing with baby rather
Mhm.
than maternal instinct. Because once there started to be any sort of mom role, she's like, yeah, I'm not interested.
Mhm.
It means nothing. And so that child of mine will likely never give me grandchildren. I'm okay with that. That's her choice. If you don't want kids, please don't have them, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
the other child that I have is like, okay, if I happen to have children, great, but I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try not to, but I'm not going to try have them. Like, okay,
Mhm.
I may never have grandchildren. It's the way it is. And
Well,
when they were in kindergarten, there were, of course, playing house things like dolls and kitchens and truck things and water things and lots and lots of a huge variety of toys. And in my older daughter's class, most of the boys wanted to be the mom because they got to play with the dolls,
mhm.
and it was not a boy thing or a girl thing. It was just that's the way they were. And nobody ever accused them as being feminine or whatever, because they were still the rough and tumble boys that they
Yeah.
always were. My girls, though, were rough and tumble girls, but nobody accused them of being tomboys. Because they liked their pretty dresses, they liked everything else. It's just be who you are, right?
Well, and being that, I had the polycystic thing, I had more testosterone than I had the
Mm,
estrogen. And so I've always been more of a tomboy, more than the makeup and the
right,
nails and all of that.
right.
Um, and I can remember thinking something was wrong with me,
Mm-hmm.
because my sister liked all that stuff and I didn't care for
Oh
it.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so when my daughter was little, one day she had a little play pocketbook and she put it
Mm-hmm.
over her wrist,
Mm-hmm.
and was walking with the purse there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I only would have a shoulder purse.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know she has never seen me carry a pocketbook like that. And
Mm-hmm.
kind of clicked in my head that you are who you are. And some of those things nobody has to teach you or show you or explain it to you. You just are the way that you are. And that
Yeah.
should be okay. Shouldn't we should never say, oh, no, 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 you need to do it
Yeah.
this way, or you need. Nope.
Well, I
And
was talking to a woman who would have been about the age of my mom. That person was a little scandalized that they had a grandson who was gay. And I'm like, well, they, they were like, okay, that grandson of mine, it's the gay people pressuring him to join their society because he hasn't really fit in with anybody else. And she was going on this whole rampage. And I'm like, oh, wow. So how old were you when people told you you had to like boys? Well, what do you mean? Well, if they're doing it because of pressure from this group, who was it who told you you had to like boys? Well, no one. Well, duh.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
you pick. Either you love who you love or society pressures you.
Hmm.
It's just you don't have to. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's really, to where we don't let people be people, we don't let us be who we are, or be your own person. And then
Hmm.
people wonder why the world is the way that it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I read somewhere that said that when a baby is born, it is perfect. It has everything it needs and knows everything it needs to do. And then as we raise it, we systematically tell it, no, 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 you can't do that. You have to do it this way, and you have to do this.
Right.
And we do this and we do that. And so by the time that they're little kids, they're no longer that perfect baby
No,
that
that's
they
right.
were born.
They've been institutionalized for the lack of a better term.
Hmm.
Like they have been. I don't know what word I would use. Anyways, it's been
Conform.
almost
They
2 hours.
conform to what someone says is the right thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. It has been almost 2 hours. This is a wonderful conversation, but I probably should go pay attention to my honey. Let's see. Got in trouble once in kindergarten. All the boys learned to pull their shirts where the front twisted at the arms and went backward, exposing their chest. Misha was hot. I did the same. Yeah, no, not allowed. Very not allowed. Anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
while we've been potty training my granddaughter, for some reason, when she goes number 2, she wants to completely strip. And my daughter told her, you can't do that at school. You have to keep your clothes on, and she'll would ask her, well, why did you feel like you had to take them off? Because I just wanted to, And so she said, well, when you go to school and you go potty, you have to keep your clothes on. And she said, well, I won't go potty there then. But yeah, you're still going to have to go when you have to go.
Just ask me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta go, gotta go.
Doesn't work that way. You don't get to decide.
No, you don't.
But, that's a 3-year-old for you.
That's right.
Like I want to do it, I just won't do it there. No problem.
That's right. Absolutely. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you everybody for coming. I will have to have Echo on again. We've got lots of things we have in common we need to talk about. And this has been so much fun. So yes, Lucy, I love seeing Echo and I together as well. I also like you and me together, by the way, just saying. Between you and I, we have the best people in our chats.
We do.
I have made great friends with the people who are not supposed to be my friends. Like it's just a parasocial, there's no actual friendship. Well, yeah, there is. At least for me, there is.
People say, oh, are those your YouTube friends? Yeah, they sure are. But you know what? If somebody called me and said they needed me, I would get on a plane or whatever I had to do, because I think we even connect easier and more fully with people online than we do in person.
A lot of cases, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
I really feel like that there's a lot of people that I've just met them and it's like, yep, I like this person. Yep. So I don't know. I'm not a hard person as far as being picky, like, oh, well, no, she likes this or she likes that. She can't be my friend. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I'm. Yeah, I need people too much to say that. So anyway.
All right.
Anyways,
good night,
folks,
everybody. Thank you.
Have a great evening. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, we'll end on this note. Screw the judgments.
Yes.
I like it. All right. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Some come with scars, some come with dreams. In this circle, we're more than what we seem. No judgment here, just voices to be heard. Through laughter, through the tears, we find every word. I'm my brother's keeper. I'm